As human, we crave to be liked and be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
All humans, no matter what it is. And it's a feeling, and again, so the culture sees that the class clown is getting attention. The culture sees that the man outside selling the drugs get attention. He get the girls, he get all the cool stuff. So our whole world just shows us that negativity gets the things that we desire. And you have to be exposed to a world, to that feeling that you felt. When you felt that recognition from Kyle, you say, oh, shoot, I felt good. Then you wanted to, this is what we talk about exposure, it's the same thing. So you were able to get exposed to a feeling that now I can go chase this and get that same high. Same thing with what we do now. I always tell people about, you miss sports. So I'm like, no, not really. Because I get the same adrenaline from what I do now. I get the same feeling I got in sports and what I do now. So again, there's something that we chase as humans, the feeling that we all crave. And I think most people, you know what I mean, we just want to feel it. We want to feel accepted, we want to feel love, but you got to be able to put yourself in a space to where love is the exception that you're looking for. Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To the right, we got Mr. Military Man, Mr. Miles McConaughey. How you feeling today, brother? I'm tripping. But Mr. Miles McConaughey, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm good. I said 10.
10, I love it. I love to be around 10s because you know that energy comes off and I can feel it. So you know what I mean? So to the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest of 7 hills, Mr. Eddie Rocket. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm a 10 today.
Ooh, we killing it today, boy.
Yeah, man.
Killed it in the schools, bro.
Killed it in the schools.
You know, I'm a 10 too. Thanks for asking, y'all. But I'm a 10 too. I appreciate y'all for asking. But man, great day today. Like he just said, man, we got a young man on their greatness here. We have gift premiering going on. Obviously, when you hear this, it'll be over. But you could go back and see, you know, the great things that have been done. So I do want to appreciate everybody because somebody watching this may have been somebody that funded or gave to us during this gift premiering campaign. So we appreciate you for that. We do not take it lightly. But even with gift premiering, though, we got the Push for Greatness campaign still going throughout the whole month. So if you missed gift premiering, guess what? Push for Greatness campaign. You can go to our bio, go to our social medias and click the link in the bio, and you can give to our Push for Greatness campaign. The cool thing about that, in summer 2025, we'll be taking a group of young boys international. Yes, I said international. We'll be giving that location out here pretty soon. The great company Amazon has actually gave us the seed funding of $10,000 to get this kicked off. So I know you all are out there excited to hear about where we're going, how we're doing it. So we're going to give you more information on that. But a lot of cool things going on. Again, I appreciate everybody that supports the work that we do here at Cut Different. All right. But other than that, other thing you can do too, like, subscribe, and comment. So right now, start what you're doing. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure that you're supporting through, just pushing the button. It don't cost you anything. Donating costs, but when you donate, you're changing a life, help save a life. But when you subscribe to that button, you help save the podcast. You get what I'm saying? So you could be Superman in your own right today by helping subscribe, saving the podcast, liking, or donating to help saving a life. All right. But I appreciate y'all. But fellas, to get into the conversation, I want to get directly into what we got going on. I don't want to take up too much time today. But so on Sunday, so not yesterday, on Sunday, something happened. We were with the boys. We had a great event at Small Sliders, a VIP event. Well, no, that wasn't a VIP event, but we were able to go over and shoot some content. We came back here to the church and we were able to shoot more content. We got on live. So for the Push for Greatness campaign, we get on live and, we do our push-ups for every dollar donated. Usually when we're on live, you know what I mean? I make it structured. I'm like, all right, y'all get in here, y'all line up. You know what I mean? Making sure y'all present yourself. This time I wanted to give another feeling. So I was letting some of the boys were like leaning into the camera and they were doing different things, which, I was cool with at first, because sometimes I had to catch myself because I'm a structured gentleman. I like things to look the same. So it kind of looked the same. I was about to say something. I called myself and said, nah, it's cool. So I just wanted people to see them in a natural setting. We do know when you loosen things up that creates room for things to go to a place that you wouldn't want it to go. With that being said, so as he's reading the comments and I'm sitting back looking, you could see a whole bunch of positive comments like the hearts, the thumbs up, and all those different things. But he didn't acknowledge any of those things. He just steady looked. As he's looking, there's one comment that popped up that caught his eye. And I guess it was another young person, but the person made a comment about one of the boys' jeans and shoes. And his natural reaction was to say, oh, he said, And it was like a chain reaction because now some of the other boys like, what? So I had to easily like be in the background, like give a little face, like, y'all better get right type situation. But when I'm sitting back and the whole thing, I had to get on them. So I got on them boys about the whole, after the live was over, I got on them. You know what I mean? I was like, come on, dog. The messaging was behind, you had all these beautiful comments, but your eyes and your mindset went to the negative. And I had to train them. I was like, we are trained as humans. For some odd reason, we are trained to pay attention to negative, or let negative things get to us when there's a whole bunch of positivity that we can focus on. Again, and I can even go back to times like when you talk about what we do right now with Cut Different. There's messages, and I do respond to positive things, but the negative stuff gets my attention more. When somebody talks sideways about it, because you want to protect, in my sense, you want to protect what we're doing. It's something you created, so you want to protect it. In this scenario with him, my mind is trying to wrap around, what is it about humans? Because this is not just a child thing, adults do this as well. What is it about humans that allows us to bypass all the positive things that are going on and hone in on the negativity? I have a saying, I always say this, I was like, you have to be crazy to think that, if you think that there's more negativity in the world than positivity, you're crazy. It's just negativity is loud. Negativity, it shows up and you have to feel it. Like a negative person, like it's hurting me so bad that I have to let you know. A person that's positive or do positive things, they can do it in quiet. Just like when people donate, they can make it anonymous. They can, when somebody does positive thing, they don't have to boast about it because they're doing it out the good of their heart. When it's a negative, it's like a furious burning thing that it has to be loud because it won't allow it to settle. My question to you, gentlemen, what do you think it is about humans in general that allows us to pay attention to negativity over positivity?
Most people, they, in interactions, first, when you meet someone or you're talking to someone, a lot of times you're talking to their persona or the mask that they wear. And that's just, again, another thing, human nature. Until people can peel back those layers, or whatever could cause them to be hesitant to allow their true self to be on full display all the time. So when you have someone that says something negative to you, in this context, a lot of times people feel like, oh, well, are people seeing beyond, that mask I wear in public or that persona that I present in public? And, people work really hard to have these personas out there or to have a certain face in the public eye. So when you have someone that says something negative about an individual and they react in that way or something like that, now it's not universal reason as to why, but it is a large reason as to why, especially when you get into psychology and sociology, concepts. It makes them feel like someone's peeking behind that mask or that persona, or they let something slip. Yeah. So it's now I have to defend. I have to make sure that, no, you're seeing me for, this image I put out there or this persona I put out there. Mm-hmm. So it can make people uneasy. It can be like, well, did I do something wrong? Or did I say something wrong? And no one likes to be seen as bad. No one likes to be seen as inferior or uneducated or anything like that, because they understand the stigma that culturally we apply to those metrics. If we deem someone a bad person or someone is unlearned or ignorant, right? That has a huge toll with your image, your social credit, if you will. If that rumor or those things spread enough, that could take opportunities off your plate. That's why we have defamation and libel lawsuits that happen, where you can't just talk bad about someone. Mm-hmm. Because we do understand that in our economic structure and capitalism and things like that, like, your brand is your bread and butter. So if someone damages that, now you could be taking money from, from my family or or opportunities that I've worked hard to get. Yeah. So people, they really respond to those negative comments because of just the power that goes behind, just the social credit that we have here.
Yeah. So even in this scenario, so I totally get what you're saying. That's more so on a higher scale. So when you talk about, if we were talking about a brand or talking about a person that is a brand. So an adult, and not saying the kids in their own right, it's a different level. So when you get into a middle school, high school, that world, there's a different type of, you're trying to be your brand is usually not who you are. Well, let me go back there, because some adults walking around, they got a brand and not who they are as well. But you get where I'm going with it. When in middle school and high school, you don't really even know who you are at this time. But there is there's an ideal of who you're supposed to be. If you're even if we can even break it down, if you're a black male, if you know what I mean, there's just different images of who you are, what this environment tells you should be. So in this environment, if we go back to the environment of the young man, because I'm gonna tell you what the comment was. And I think I said the comment was about the young man's jeans. They called his jeans fake, and they say he had big shoes on. Oh. So in this realm, if you're a person that's if you can go back to your child and you're reading that, my initial reaction, because you get it, when you young, your kids, you talk about each other, you know, you pick on each other, But what I'm trying to get, and what I was trying to get them to understand is, if you can get outside that mindset, like right now, if you can lose that, like if you would have saw those hearts and I love y'all, like, or been putting the positive thing behind it, how much further a person would go. So the question, I guess, what I'm not even a question of what I'm just trying to say is, because I get when you're talking about definitely, because at the end of the day, when somebody was talking about us, you know what I mean, just here recently when we came to the school board stuff, there was a conversation that we were coming here looking at each other like, okay, we have to do so, or we have to make sure that we don't allow this person to be able to take over our name. So obviously we do pay attention to that. That I get that. But in this scenario, what I'm trying to say, why do you think the young person is paying attention to that?
It's the same concept. It's at a child's level, because again, it's the social credit. So and a lot of people feel as though love or respect is a given. That's what we teach kids, that, you know, you give love, give respect, but in reality, you have to really look at the objective truth. Is that real? Do people really give love or respect just freely? You know what I mean? It's usually tied to something, or something that you do or say that resonate with them, and then it comes with love. So for these kids, you know, to them, it's like, all right, if kid B is getting dunked on, I'm kid A, right? Well, you ain't dunking on me, so let me further push you down, because, well, you was the target. Like they were talking bad about you. So let me further separate myself from you, even though we in the same building and part of the same org, but let me show that there's a separation. Like, oh, he's cool to be dunked on because he got on X, Y, and Z, but I got on my stuff. I'm fair. So I got to show that there's a rift there, because again, social credit. These kids, they're driven by likes, shares, social media, different things like that. So they have to adhere to the things of social media, the rules of, to get that popularity, even if that means dunking on your own peer, your own brother. Sad, but again, culturally, that's the mess that we've cultivated here in America. So when we ask why people pay more attention to the negative stuff, because that's literally what it's come down to. It's all about dunking on someone else, and then you do the separation thing. Yeah. Dunk on, I'm gonna remove myself to show that, okay, I'm not that. And so it just drives the sense of, well, in this context, in a setting, well, I have to call out that negativity, not love, because love sees all of us together. It sees all of us as one. We're homogenous, you know, we're cut different, or with the push-up challenge with the boys. As soon as that negativity came in and it was highlighted towards one specific individual, we gotta be separate.
Yeah.
So it's a mentality thing. It's, you know, you have to understand that, like, if that's your boy, that's your boy. Who cares what he got on?
Yeah.
I know what he stands for. I know his mentality. I know his heart. It doesn't matter. That's material. Jeans gonna fade away. Shoes gonna, you know, break down. Eventually, gonna have to replace it. Yeah. That's not a solid reason to just dunk on someone, or to separate yourself from your brother because of something over material stuff. Yeah. That's crazy.
Man, and I love the way you just broke that down. So think about that, the whole mindset of that whole scenario. So like you said, before that comment came, we were a team effort. Everybody hyping each other, everybody clapping. And as soon as that came about, he excluded that individual from the team, further humiliating him, because again, not making a comment that no one else seen, acknowledgeable. Now everybody knows. Now everybody like, ooh. And now, you know what I mean? And I love the way you broke that down. And it even made me think about, so you think about our social media, and in what it comes to when it goes to a post or something getting more attention. What is it using? Something negative, something like somebody humiliating somebody, or somebody doing some viral content, or somebody hurting themselves. Like the stuff that really gets the most attention is stupid things, and it adds no value to society. And I think that has a lot to do with the whole scenario I'm talking about. So when we go back to them in their brain knowledge, that's what they've been consuming since childhood. It's negativity. You know what I mean? The negative thing is what goes. You think about the streamers and stuff they watching, they're doing crazy things to get these views. And again, so are we living in a society that just pumps? We pump negativity.
It's sales. Like they used to say, sex sells, negativity sells. Yeah. You gotta look at even the music a lot of these kids listen to. You know, rap is no longer just rap. It's nothing but constant beef. You got drill tapes, you have diss tracks, you have all these things, and what do they gain from it? Just someone dying, someone being put in prison for it. And it's just a constant back and forth. You have people on the sidelines adding fuel to it. Oh, did you hear so-and-so diss tape, blah, blah, blah. And they say, you're hearing about another 20-some-year-old drill rapper shot up, dead. Again, what did you win? Nothing. But you chasing that social credit. You chasing to get the admiration of people who watch you, to feel like you the biggest, baddest, dude out there or whatever. And the only thing that comes with that is pain, because you're not understanding that. Like my grandfather told me this. He was like, look, if the world is on your side with every last thing that you say, you're on the wrong side, because it is impossible. The only way that you can be that for the world is if you constantly change it. If you constantly change it, you already know, a double-minded person is dangerous in all his ways. That's what the Bible says. So you have to find those people that just basically don't care about that, this cultural system that we have where you live and die by if you dunk on somebody, or if you call more attention to someone's unfortunate string of events. Like, what does that even do? Instead of rallying people to help the situation or help the person, you're rallying to just laugh or to say, hey, you messed up.
Yeah.
Silly.
It made me think about, so if you think about, and it's if you think about when and what helped you shift your focus from that. So I was a kid, so I was a part of you want to joke on somebody, you want to be on the opposite side of humility. So even if humility was on somebody else, you amplified it just to make sure it doesn't come back to you. I remember those days, but there was a certain point in time in life where you realized that wasn't the focus. None of that mattered, that you're actually wasting energy, putting energy into that pot that you should be filling your own pot. For you too, when do you think that came about, and how do we change the narrative to how it is? So when did that come about for you? How did it come about? What allowed you to realize, like, that's foolishness? I need to be over here with the people that, care about themselves enough not to try to put somebody else down. When did that happen for? I want to see if the age range around the same. When do y'all think? When do you think it happened for you, Rocket?
Yeah, I was high school. Calvin Wagner, I'll never forget. We're so playing with North Marion. We had a good team. We had a stellar teammate. And apparently Kyle must have had a conversation with him. And I guess the response that teammate gave Kyle, he made him feel like he was arrogant. And I guess, so it was on this particular day, there was one of the teammates, they were putting down one of our other SIBO. They were putting down one of our other teammates. And in that moment, when whatever they said, I just remember I snapped. Y'all tripping, leave him alone. And I remember Kyle coming to me and he was like, man, I'm so glad you're not like our other teammate. He's so arrogant just because he's a good player. He feel like he can just down people. He said, but you're humbled and you're a great teammate to be with. So I think I was I was a junior that year. We were juniors. And even in that moment, even when he said it, when he compared the other player, I guess similar as far as how we played on the field, but the mentality of between he and I, it was like, for me, it sat in like, bro, I don't have to be that guy. I can. You don't have to down people just so that you can fit in with everybody.
Get attention.
That wasn't what it was. I actually got more attention by taking up for the kid that they were making fun of. So at that point, I guess I was 14. No, I'm sorry. I had to be like 16, 17 is when at that point it was like, bro, you don't have to take sides. I didn't have to be a part of the crowd in order to get popularity. I didn't have to be there. So that's
It's a feeling too. It's a feeling as human we crave to be liked and be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
All humans, no matter what it is, and it's a feeling. And again, so the culture sees that the class clown is getting attention. The culture sees that the man outside selling the drills get attention. He get the girls. He get all the cool stuff. So our whole world just shows us that negativity gets the things that we desire. And you have to be exposed to a world, to that feeling that you felt. When you felt that recognition from Kyle, you said, oh, shoot, I felt good. Then you wanted to, this is what we talk about exposure. It's the same thing. So you were able to get exposed to a feeling that now I could go chase this and get that same high. Same thing with what we do now. I always tell people, like, you miss sports. I'm like, no, not really. Because I get the same adrenaline from what I do now. I get the same feeling I got in sports and what I do now. So again, there's something that we chase as humans, the feeling that we all crave. And I think most people, you know what I mean, we just want to feel it. We want to feel accepted and we want to feel love. But you got to be able to put yourself in a space to where love is the exception that you're looking for. So what do you think? What time you thinking about?
I have a few like moments that kind of I guess brought this mentality to home. I'll never forget one time I was the one that was being dunked on in elementary. And the reason why I
can't bring you spot that, but you got dunked on,
like with just being someone trying to.
Oh, I thought you got dunked.
Nah, so I'll never forget it was at the in the cafeteria, and this was when my family, we were we had a low point in like the money that was being brought in. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been without it. I've had it. I understand both worlds. And a kid was trying to like brag about all this stuff he got and all this other stuff, and was trying to basically make like a comparison to show that basically he was better than me because he had all this stuff. So I'll never forget, I started firing back off with saying things that I had, and it hit me when I did that. I was like, for even when my family in the rough spot financially right now, I still got a whole lot. And knowing my mom line of work, working with, kids that come from, rough areas and things, hearing the stuff that she talked about, that kind of gave me perspective in that moment. And so I talked to my mom about it. She picked me up from school, and she was just like, she just showered me with love that I understood in that moment, like just how blessed we are, even if we don't realize it in that moment. Just with the things that we were still blessed to have even during that time period. And that's kind of what shifted my mentality to not really care about the material stuff, because like that's when I realized, man, this stuff come and go. But at the end of the day, like I got a roof over my head, I got clothes, I got my bed, my own room, stuff like that. So even though I don't have all the stuff that this boy is talking about, I still have way more than a lot of other people out there. And that's something to not dunk on someone about. That should fuel your praise, your happiness that, hey, I'm blessed, man, even if I don't have all this stuff. Another time,
let's stay on that one though before you go to another one. So think about that. Think about the beauty of you going through an experience like that, but you being able to relate to, okay, I know mom deals with people that have it worse. And you're able to get in the car and get in the car with mom, and mom shower you with love. Yeah. But your opponent, the person that's in school, think about what they go through. Yeah. So when they get dunked on and they get in the car, what you think mom's saying? F them. Yeah. You better go up there the next day and tell them that you ain't, you know what I mean? And if you got to put your hand, that's the world we living in. So when you go outside and we're questioning these things, like, why is this person? Because the environment they come from is teaching them. This is what they're getting on the day-to-day. They're getting like, nah, like, help them. Like, so you got to think about you're able to be who you are because of the foundation that was given to you, even in the rough time. We're able to relate back to we are blessed. They're more blessed than most people. You get what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, dog.
Yeah. So she, she really just like, look, hey, this is just kind of your mentality. I think I was fourth grade when that situation happened. Same year, went to a birthday party. It was was a birthday party in the neighborhood. And it was this one kid, I didn't know him. He was friends with the birthday boy, but his kid, obviously, he came from an environment where like bullying was like normalized. So he kept bullying this one kid, and we were playing manhunt when it got dark. And I just remember hearing like this commotion behind one of the houses, and the kid was like beating up a classmate of mine just for no reason. He was just digging out the whole night. So without anything, I just ran over, walk, hey, get off of him type thing. And I almost got in trouble that night because the parents just saw me beating up the other boy. But the other boys spoke up and was like, nah, he was beating me up, and Miles came over and helped me out type of thing. And ever since then, I was like, you know what, man, I don't really care for bullies. I tell people that often. I don't. I've seen what bullying do to people, and that's why like even with what we do, that's like one of my like no, I have no mercy for it. Because I've seen how it impacts other kids. I was blessed. I had a structure and a family that even if I did experience, like I was just saying, they made sure I was up. I don't know what the other kid going through. I can take it, but I don't know if he can. So I'm gonna sit there and defend them. So that was another one there. My grandfather that I cite a lot for a lot of my inspiration. I grew up seeing that the influence that he had over his local community, everything, and he never spoke ill of anyone. So if he could amass that level of people that look to him for his guidance and wisdom, he never had to say anything negative about somebody or try and crash someone else down, then it's possible. So why do I have to do that? I don't have to. I can just be me. I don't have to sell out. I don't have to do anything else. Just be me and then take care of those that I can take care of in my circle, and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, no, I love that. Oh, there was another time. So high school, then you get to college. So you always have one of the revelations as you get older. Like, hey, this is what they were trying to say. So I think I told you before, with Coach Joe Taylor, we normally, so we had FCA, and he came out with this thing, and it was like, you don't have to be the man to be a man. So you think about it, you don't have to be the man to be a man. So in the example that you gave, the kid that made notice to what was said, a lot of times he's the one trying to always be the man instead of being the man that he can be. And in reference, I know he's a kid, but he's gonna mature. But that's one of the things, because if we can get them to understand, you can be who you are, man, and we know exactly who he is. If he would just be a kid, a normal kid of what, man, that man got so many talents. He's good across the board. You put him in front of a drum, you put him a speech, whatever it is, that kid, bro, he has a heart. But a lot of the times he's so busy trying to be the man that he knocks himself out of the picture of being just a man that's going to be a stand-up man in the future, or to being a stand-up kid in society that's going to emulate, because he got so many people looking up to him already. But the problem is he's so busy trying to be the guy that he's always been the guy in the wrong way. If he just be himself, he could still move all these followers, all these people that's following him on social media. He can move those same kids that's following him in a negative way and a positive way, but he just got to get out of them.
But the thing is, like, that's true, but I always go to why. So when we have people that know that they have greatness in their own capacity, they don't have to be anything other than who they are. Why? Why do they still choose to try and be the man under a specific lens? That's a cultural thing. And even if like people can challenge me on it, but ask most kids, do they want to be a doctor when they grow up? Do they want to be a ball player? Which one they gonna choose? Why? It's because cultural cues. Culture has told us that the ball player is more important because he on TV. He got the jersey deals. He got this, that, and the third. But you got a doctor. He's saving lives every day. Why in the world in our society is a ball player seen as more respectable and more prominent than a doctor? Someone who literally wake up every day to save someone's life. Someone that all of us gonna have to go to eventually. Now, we don't all need to go to no ball player. What else? What other value does he give other than entertainment? But we're an entertainment first society. So if you entertain people, you always gonna have a higher status than people that's even doing genuine good. We're backwards. But that's why. That's why you got kids, it's a struggle to get them to focus on the genuine talent they have. They don't care. because, well, that's not going to give me attention. That's not going to give me love. That's not going to get me whatever it is that this popularity over here is going to get me. It's the same game that people struggle with trying to defeat the drug dealers in the community. Why you say that a kid is going to be a drug dealer knowing that you got to look over your shoulder 24/7? You do all that work, all that time spent getting shot, all this other stuff to be making maybe $40,000 a year when you break the cash down. Why?
Is it funny? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm even to that point, and it's something we have to break. But even to that point, most kids angle towards the athlete because we know there's more stories that we can pinpoint. I know XYZ that is an athlete, so it makes it more relatable, more I can do that. The doctor sense is you can't name too many doctors, or for the average person, I don't think they can name too many doctors. And another thing, the athlete, you're gonna see his contract online, all that. Oh, he makes $20 million. For the doctor, he make good money too, but you don't never see it advertised, you don't never see it online. Another thing, a doctor is so quiet, even if a doctor is making good money and he comes from an environment we may come from, what he can do is he can choose to help his people. He can help his people when quiet. He can be like, hey man, da-da-da-da. An athlete, when he goes to the league, it's already assumed that he coming back to the community. He got to help everybody on his block, everybody that came, because everybody know what he makes. So everybody's always already coming to this man before he even signed his contract and have expectations for him. That's why they always go broke in all these different things.
I was just about to say.
That's what I always. So there, it's a system of if we really want to break this thing down, why these things are looked at as the thing that people want to do. And is what, because anybody, we said again, if you in your right mind and we put athlete, doctor, which one you want to do, it'd be a doctor. I mean, just it just makes sense. Athlete, you want to tell your body up, you want to do this every day. But again, if you just even going back to the dope deal, when you think about just the stories of when it comes to the person that sells the drugs, when it comes to again having the nicest car, having the girls, and even though he's again you tearing down one, he in the building up. He gonna come back over and say, "Hey, little man, bro, we had a drug dealer in our neighborhood, bro. When I was a kid, he gave me $20 every touchdown. I used to score 5-7 touchdowns a game, bro. And he's giving me this money. He went to jail for he did about 10. What? He did about 10, 15. I was hurt. I was I'm like, bro, where he at, bro? I need him out here. He feet in my pocket, bro. And then he gets out, and I see him in the barbershop. I said, bro, you owe me. Yeah. And a couple years later, he dead. You get what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying, bro? This is systematic.
That's my point. So the expectation can be that the ball players are gonna come back and take care of his community, but clearly we know that's not necessarily the case, because we've had prominent black athlete after black athlete. Yet what? Yeah. So that's not what happens, because the thing is, no matter what people say, for the most part, they'll say, well, I want to go to the league, take care of my mom and stuff, and my brother. That's fine. But at the end of the day, that pathway, that profession is you. Yes, you're on a team, but it's your stats. Yes, you're on a team, but it's your pro day, it's your draft selection. You ain't being drafted as a team. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's your with the hopes and dreams that, I'm going to have that money. I'm going to have those accolades, that spotlight. So even if that's the case, that's the community expectation, is still misguided, because the whole time this kid has been set up that is my stats, I know what teamwork is, but for my upliftment, I have to go by myself, right? I can't take the whole team with me everywhere I go, right? You've been part of a good team. You've been part of a good team. Did you go to Temple with everybody from North America? No. Did you go to Fairview? So it don't work that way. So it's still, yes, you're on a team, but it's still in the back of your mind is individualized. I gotta make sure I'm getting these reps. I gotta make sure I'm getting these touches, because that's what they're gonna look at. It's not just about the full team. Now, when you have a doctor that's going, it's obvious the expectation is he's gonna be saving someone's life. Otherwise, he's losing his practice and getting a lawsuit. So it's why, again, if it's a community thing, put your expectations on those that literally have gone through the pipeline to serve the greater community at the end of the day. You can't expect a rapper or a ball player to do that. I will hope that they do, because yes, you have an opportunity of a lifetime, opportunity that other people did not get. Yeah. But what's the most common end result of that? Yeah. And that's the thing, is everyone wants that to like you said, to be the guy. It's not really, when you really peel back the layers, what a lot of these kids that want that life and everything else, you really peel back the layers of it, and even some people that have made it, it's not about the community at the end of the day. It's really not. It sounds good to say that, and I know deep down, I truly believe deep down inside, a lot of them do feel like they should. For sure. I truly believe that. Maybe I'm naive, but I don't really believe like a lot of people have just this, they want to be malicious. I feel like they want to, but you just get caught up. Like, it's easy to get caught up in the noise and the life itself, man. I get it. So I'm not crashing on everybody that made it just for context. It's just, we have to do better culturally if we're saying, answer these questions about why these kids, you know, why they're so attracted to negativity and everything else, because they're only feeding off of what we put out, what adults put out, what we as a community, as a culture put out. They're just feeding into it. So if that's the system that we making for them, that, hey, look, it's to be the man, you got to, you know, rag on people that's right next to you, then that's what they're going to do.
So I said, camera on me. I put them out there. The reason being, for every athlete that made it out of Ocala and didn't come back, because we clearly just put it out. The kids look at y'all. Like, so for you not to come back and want to show the kids how to be a stand-up guy, to do for the community, to be compassionate about your brother or the ones that's around you, y'all the problem. We can blame the drug dealers all we want, but the drug dealers, they in the community.
Yeah.
It's the players that come back and sit and hide, and they don't want to help out with the youth. Yeah. They don't want to show the youth we can do everything they want to do. But the moment that is somebody from the NFL, NBA come back, forget what my mentor say. He over here. We finna run over here with this athlete and whatever he say we're gonna do. So if you got that much attraction, if you can pull these youth, if you got that much control over these youth, come back and help out. Help us help the youth. So I'm gonna put them out there. It don't matter. It is what it is, because we play ball, and I know for God knows my heart. We came back for a reason. Mm-hmm. For the ones that had the opportunity to get there and they ain't came back and did nothing, I like to blame. I like to think you're part of the problem.
Yeah, no, it's a collective piece. There's no shine about that. And to go back to what you were saying about, you know, getting touchdowns and getting paid for it, you know, is that brought up a memory to me, because I'll never forget, man, like at church, you know, we would get paid for speeches, you know, to sit up and talk. You know, my granddad give out $10, $15, $20, depending on your age group, on if you were willing to get up and publicly speak. Those are small things that we just don't have to do it. Like, everyone can sit there and do that. How easy is that? How easy to say, hey, man, did you finish that book? Did you really finish reading that book? Yeah. Go take an AR test. Like, come back with 100% on that AR test, or 90 or better, I give you $10. Like, start promoting the positive stuff. It's bigger than just a little surface level stuff. Like, promote reading, promote writing, promote arts and crafts. Get out there. Hey, if you never did art, hey, do 3 art projects on your own. Like, go find something that on Pinterest even, that are arts and crafts that you may like. Go do it, come back to me with it. I give you $20. Start. That's like, it's sad that we have to pay them, but to your point, they are being paid out there by other people. That's who you're gonna have to compete with for their attention.
That's all it is an attention game. Where is our focus? At the end of the day, when we're talking about a youth, and this goes up to adult, we got a world full of people that don't know who they are. So in a sense, when you don't know who you are, now you're dealing with others in a sense. If I'm not equipped in who I am, and now I'm dealing with another human that's not equipped in who they is, to your point, we just all out here crashing out because we don't know. We don't have a standard for ourselves. First and foremost, because I can't even deal with you because I don't even have a dealing with myself to be able to handle my own self or handle my own emotions. So now you just got a chain effect of people that just start acting irrationally, acting emotionally off of just not knowing who they are. I think that's the core of it. So even going back to our scenario that we talked about, the person that sent the message is confused because obviously why are you on a positive campaign or Instagram Live as that's this? It would have, you know what I mean? How did that even come about?
With kids,
how did that even come about? To the other point, the person on this camera, he's still trying to figure himself out as well. Mm-hmm. But he's in the environment. Mm-hmm. He's in the environment. You gotta say
the kid that. Oh, sorry. That person, because it can be an adults. It can be adults too. How do we? Yeah, it's not limited to me. So, bro, we can go deep. This can go real deep. Yeah. Imagine about the people that's want to be on a certain team or part of a certain program, part of a certain organization, and they're not they're not a part of the organization or the team or whatever the case may be because they can't perform at a high level. And then the moment that you can't be a part of the team and you see the team doing something good, now you want to talk. Now you want to rag on that organization. Yeah. You want to rag on that job industry because you don't have the qualities. Yeah. So that young man or that person that was on the other side of that camera really probably wanted to be a part of Cut Different, but the expectations that we require to be a part of Cut Different, he knows that I can't be there. So you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather talk about every young man on there that's trying to do something positive with they something.
Yeah, even in that scenario with the person that's a part of, of us, we able to say, hey, nah, bro, this ain't what it is, and reel him back in to get like, this ain't in why the person on the other camera, now he going on to the next live. You know what I mean? Now he putting something else negative out. Now you got a person that just make it, but again, it's like you say, we can go so many layers with this. Even like you just said with the adults, you get on social media, you get on Facebook. What do you see? You just see people talking about, like you say, talking about the job, talking about how XYZ ain't happening in the community, how there need to be more of this and more of that. But at the end of the day, what are you doing to put into to help there be a more of whatever you think it should be? And that's the same, again, you on this thing of positivity where your comment could be, y'all boys keep going, keep doing it. And you put negativity into it. For the adult that's out there, so many positive things, what we got going on, what the Pearl Project has going on, what the Kimberly Center has going on, where you can, instead of putting your comment, you can find out, because again, we have nonprofits, or we have things that are answering maybe pretty much every problem that's out there, or trying to answer every problem. And you should research whatever the thing is that you think should be fixed and go help them out. Even if it's city council, go sit down with your city officials, go sit, you know what I mean? There's a way to get the answers that you're looking for instead of spewing hate, instead of spewing negativity. Because again, as we just said, it's a chain reaction. All that's doing is going to cause somebody else to comment on there. Now you got a comment. Now you got a post with 200, 300 comments, all negativity. If you go to OPD page, check it out sometimes. Go to OPD page and just check out some of the comments on that thing. It's just terrible. But again, come back to something what we got. If you go to Community Foundation page right now, with Give for Mary and go on, check their comments, see how many people comment on there. You get us? So it's a big thing that we can get into, man. And I think the key is just showing people at the core that a person has to figure out who they are, bro. You got to figure out your space. As we were having the conversation too, one thing that kept me grounded, and in our community as an athlete, you get, and I'm going back to my childhood, as an athlete, you always get pulled up as like the hierarchy, when you're good at sports. So God blessed me with that ability. So I never really had to seek validation in a sense, because I always got it from playing sports. So I always think about that with the boys, because I see like in a lot of environments that I went into, I didn't have to like try to fit in. People gravitated to me. Oh, you Jamie, da-da-da-da. When I see most of the boys and they don't have that validation, they're seeking it. They're seeking something to keep them irrelevant. And I think most people are doing that in this world. They're seeking something to keep them irrelevant. And I think the core of that is helping people figure out who they are. Stopping and pausing to figure out who you are and why God put you here. So I always say this questions you have there. Who am I? Where am I going? And I think once you can figure those things out and get in the path that God has lined out for you or laid out for you, then it causes you not to, when you're on the highway going to your destination, going to your goal, stop on exit 31 when that's not what God got for you. Just because they over there yelling and doing some foolishness, you don't go pay that no mind, because you're so focused on where you're going and what God has for you that you don't even look that way. Or when a wreck may happen over there, you know what I mean? You just don't see those things, or you may see it, but you know you got somewhere to go. You know what I mean? So you don't stop and do these or pay attention to the different things. If we can have a world full of people that can answer those two questions, we'll be in a better place. So that's what I think it boils down to, helping people. How do we get people to figure out who they are and be able to answer the two questions? Who am I and where am I going? So that's what I think it is. But beautiful conversation. If y'all got anything to add on to that, if we just talking about, because I don't want to end like that. So that's if we want to talk about solutions, because every time we on here, we always want to, if we're addressing something or we're bringing up something that may be a problem, we want to give solutions. My solution to it is everyone should pause and figure out who they are. At the core, self-discovered, figure out who they are. What do y'all think?
Nah, I mean, you just, that was it. Who am I and where am I going? How many times, because what I was going to say when you said it, how many times there's negative things happening within the community on social media, and then we have feelings like, well, hey, boy, you heard about such and such going to jail, or you heard about such and such getting shot, you seen it on social media, and be like, Nah, but we got the same friends, but we're so focused on who we are and what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, we don't even see it. That goes back to the exit analogy that you just gave. That ain't even my exit. I'm gonna keep going, and then I guess y'all can tell me in passing if it's somebody that's part of the family. Oh, I'm sorry, let's go check it out. But if it ain't got nothing to do with me, that negative stuff I'm not affected by it. So I'm gonna keep going. So once you figure out who it is, who you are, and where you're trying to go in life, there are a lot of negative things that you won't even pay attention to. That was a kid that noticed the comment on it. He's a child. We know, but at that moment, when the live was finished, you went back and you corrected not just him, you addressed everybody, all the boys at that moment. That's a teaching moment that maybe some of them, all of them may not understand it and hear it right now, but for some of them, they may understand, like, okay, I remember my mentor said there's certain negative things I shouldn't pay attention to on social media I should allow to get my attention. Now when I see negativity, I'm gonna blow right past it, and I'll continue to do the good things. So I feel like in itself, figure out who you are.
For sure. What about you, brother Mom? Figure out who you are. And I mean, at the end of the day, a society is a culmination of individuals. So if every individual took the time to work on themselves and to uplift their environments, we wouldn't have these issues. But what happens is people, they assume they know who they are just because they got older. A lot of times you become best friends with your baggage or with the issues that you have. That doesn't mean, that's who you are. It's part of you. And that's another thing. People have to understand that you are not just the good parts of you. You are not just the parts that you want everyone to know or to see. You're the bad as well. Doesn't mean you have to accept that, but you have to be aware of it. Otherwise, you don't know how to manage it. You don't know how to control it. You don't know how to learn different, social emotional learning techniques to make sure that you're not acting in that negative, spirit. It's a lot that goes into just literally learning yourself. The hardest thing to do is learn yourself. So I thank God that I've had experiences and opportunities in life to really be apart from, those that's closest to me, so that I had to learn. I had to sit down and figure things out for me. And now I know exactly who I am. I know what type of person I am. I know what gets me up in the morning and helps me, push through the hard days. And at the end of the day, everything I do goes back to people, some way, somehow, in some format. At the end of the day, everything goes back to my community. When I go up, community go up too. Because anytime you win at life, you need to master the art of giving. To give is to live, and to live is to give. You just gotta really be intentional about that mode of living. I promise you'll see that life is a lot more peaceful than you have been led to believe.
Yeah. I got one last thing. We ain't got to touch, but think about it. Think about the people that have tried to be a better person. Mm-hmm. They felt like they figured out who they were in that moment, and they tried to get to where it was that they were trying to get to where they wanted to be at in life, but they stopped for some odd reason. They didn't make it. Now that person reverts back to the person that they were before. And when they see other people trying to climb the ladder to become somebody successful, or to be a good person in the community, or to be a stellar student, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to pull you down because I couldn't get there. Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's a difference, for sure. And even to both of your points, and definitely what Miles just said, if you think about just us as humans, how our makeup is, we got eyes that look out. So it's easy to deal with everything external. External. Because this is what you see. So it's easy to see the flaws that you have. You know what I mean? It's easy to see the flaws that you have. It's hard to deal with yourself. It's hard to turn them eyes and look at yourself and deal with the real you. You know what I mean? In that dark room, you just laying there and you have to really analyze yourself and look at yourself in the mirror. That's the hard thing to do. That's why a lot of people don't take time to do that. They'd rather look out and they tell you what you got going on and throw rocks, at your house instead of dealing with themselves, because it's easier to do that. I can do that and go to sleep with a peaceful mind because, it's on you. But looking at myself, I can't really go to sleep because now that I know that I ain't no good person, now it's something in me that's keeping me up at night. That's why most people would rather not do it. So my encouragement would be for everybody to make sure you spend the time with yourself, get off social media sometimes, spend time with yourself, take walks, do whatever it is to be able to get you in that space to where you can really analyze yourself, even if it's assessments. There's so many assessments out there, self-assessment tools, SWOT analysis, and different things that you can use to make sure that you're on the right track. So again, EL2A family, man, everything we're doing on here, man, we want for you. We hope that and even that you watch this, that means that you're not that person. You're not that person that looks at other people and try to point out their flaws. You're watching this because you want to become a better you, and we appreciate that. So while you're doing that, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Stop right now. Smash that button, like, subscribe, and comment. Again, in the comments, I always challenge y'all every time. Y'all won't be doing it, but I hope you get some time. Sooner or later, we're going to get there. In the comments, put in the comments something you can be better at. What is something you're working at right now to become a better you? Put it in the comments, man. We can really have a conversation. This is how we're going to start a foundation. And you may be looking for some accountability. Just how we say we have a young man in our group that we had to hold him accountable for action he had. You may be on the other side. You like, man, I wish I was a part of something that held me accountable like that. I wish I had a group of people that cared enough about me when I'm in the wrong that they reeled me back in and showed me a way to go. You may be that person and you're in the right space. All right, we're going to create a community around this EL2A family where we are going in the right way together, because again, life is about doing it with other people. You shouldn't be doing life by yourself. You should have a community of people that's in the same direction, got the same energy as you, to make sure we can catapult each other in the right direction. So make sure you're putting down what's in there. If you want to be a part of the community, put it in there and we can make this thing happen sooner than later. All right, so we appreciate y'all for watching. Brother, y'all got any last remarks before I spin it off? All right, man, I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, and comment again. Make sure y'all put that in there, Roy. I know you about to put it. Like, subscribe, and comment. You're going to see it at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment it. Hey, man, we appreciate you for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.